Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. So today we're going to be fitting all of these pedals onto this amazing Terra. What is this? Let me get this in the camera. Terra 42, my pedal train. This is amazing pedal board here. I actually love the space. Normally I'm using something. Normally I'm using this pedal board, which is amazing. Especially with the cover on it and all that. But it's only half the size and a little bit not even as wide. A little less wide, but it's roughly about half the size of the Terra 42. So because of that, I have a few things on my pedal board that I like to use, like a MIDI captain, the Meris Series X pedals, which are bigger pedals. You can kind of see here all the different pedals I have and what's going on. So this is everything going on. Oh, also new. Just got this in. This is amazing. This is actually a Canvas Power 15, and this actually gives you up to 15 outs, in isolated outs, and they're 500 milliamps each. So you're talking about, and you got two switchable ones between 9 volt, 12, and 18, and they can be linked. They're linkable. So I can get another Canvas Power 15, or I can get an 8 or a 22 even. They make this in a 20 Canvas Power 22. So if you needed 22 outlets, you could. And the thing I love about it is even the switchable outlets are 9 volt. So I'm not losing any 9 volt outlets. And that's primarily what you need building a pedal board, is those 9 volt outlets. So this gives you that. It also comes with a mount, so you ain't got to worry about that. And it's really light, so it's not going to add a lot of weight. And it's actually really thin. It actually will fit in your pocket. It's so thin. It's just because it's 15 outlets, it has to have some length to it. But just for comparison, this is what I was using, which is a True Tone CS12. These are cool, but my main issue with them is that they're heavy. This is heavy. This is a lot lighter. Granted, you do have to take into consideration with this one, you will have to use this, and it comes with the wall plug as well, but you'll pretty much be have to find a way to situate these onto your pedal board. I'm thinking something similar to this orientation, and that way I have my plug here, and this just always stays plugged into the Canvas Power under the pedal board. And but for size comparison, this is them side by side. You see how much thinner it is, but you see how much wider it is as well. You can fit two of these. It's twice as, this is twice as thick, and this weighs like twice as much too as this too. And this is only 3,000 milliamps milliamps, and this is 7,500 milliamps. So this is literally 2.5 times more powerful than this. It's half the weight. It is longer, but you also, this is only 12 outlets, and you can only, in terms of 9 volt, the actual usable 9 volt, you know what I'm saying? You're only using 9 of these outputs. So you're getting all this extra weight, but you're not getting to use as many pedals as you would like. So I chose to switch to this. You know, I actually have 2 of these, you know, and 2 of these together, if I'm just using the 9 volt, the 9 volt 500, you know, the 9 volt regular standard, I'm only getting 18 out of both of these, and I have to have 2 plugs. So, while I could just have this, have 15, yes, I'm still short 3, but it also has this USB port here, which I'm hoping I can run a USB hub from, and I can power things like my MIDI Captain and the CME MIDI, CME H4 MIDI Pro, which distributes MIDI throughout my pedal board. So let's go ahead and get started. Feel free to ask questions and all that good stuff as well, you know. But let's see what we got here in terms of pedals. We have, let's go and put this down here. Of course, we got the Meris pedals down here. The, well, let's start here. Got the Empress compressor, Enzo X, Future Impact, MXR bass synth, Hog 2, got a Hog 2 right here, Male 9, Key 9, Rabbit Sitar, V256, and 2 ToneX, a Deep Freeze by Electro Harmonics, the Jam Man Solo HD. We also got the Canvas Stereo line isolator. So USB hub, power plugs right here, MIDI cables. And do me a favor, hit that like button for me. It definitely helps me out a lot. So we're going to take this. I like to use a keyboard stand. If you got one lying around, definitely helps out a lot. So let me move some of these pedals out the way. I don't want to be stepping over pedals all the time. Give me a little work area here. Gotta have zip ties. For this in particular, you need a screwdriver, drill, some good wire snippers that are, yeah, these are wire cutters, but they cut really close. So for the zip ties, so you don't have that little scratchy end left over. So here's the mount for the Canvas audio. In fact, let me bring this camera up just a bit. Yeah, I don't wanna. I ain't that tall. I ain't tall at all. I'm only 5'9", so it is what it is. All right, so in with the canvas, compared to other companies too, they come with the mount brackets, and they're metal, so they essentially, let me see. So when it's sitting, it's supposed to sit like this, and then it comes up underneath the pedal board, latches on to the back of the pedal board like that, and you bolt it on to another part of the pedal board like that. So let's see. Let's see which side I want to put this on. Yeah, let's go with around here. So this is actually going to sit like this. Let me see. And this brackets kind of sit like this. So, and we just need to space them. And may have to remove some Velcro. I'll just make that flush. Yeah, we may have to remove some Velcro here. Let's see. I don't need this anyway. Yeah. Just put that like that. On out the way. Cool. All right, so just make sure I got this oriented. It's better you check twice than do it wrong. You want this to be sitting that's similar to this. So it even sets up nice, you know. It's perfect for this. So let's just take this one. We'll put it so we'll make it so that the screw is recessed into it. Let me see something. Yeah, I want it to sit flush like that. For some reason, that just looks pretty cool. So. This goes here. That. And we're just going to use this very first hole here. And it's these really tiny screws, not the self-tapping screws. Don't get them confused. The self-tapping screws have these sharp end on them. So those have, damn it, whatever. I don't know if that's visible, but they have the sharper end on them. Get this pop in here. I always like to start screws by hand. Then I'll use a screwdriver or a drill if necessary. And the reason why that's a good practice is so you don't strip things out. Definitely don't want these screws. Let me get a smaller screwdriver. Just want to make sure that that's tight because these are some small screws. Same thing here. Gotta line it up first. And you don't have to mount them here. You can mount them here or there, you know, in the middle, towards the middle, if you would like. I just wanted, I feel like having them at the end will give you the most stability on it. Just tightening them down. Definitely don't want these coming loose, boy. So after you have them on, they'll look like this, pretty much. And it's gonna hang like this. So if I wanted to, I could put it on the bottom bracket though. And look at that. It's like perfect size to just slide right in there. Just like that. Super easy. Now from here, just take the self-mounting screws, drill, turning in the right direction. See which ones I want to do first. One. In there. Alright, so now we just lock these down here. Same thing. Try to get it towards the center. Try to get it towards the center of the hole here. All right. All right. So that's done. So we got the power supply nicely mounted. I mean, that just looks great. It's flush. You know, I could have turned it over, probably mounted it back like that, but this fits real nice, so I'm happy. You know, it's the way it looks when it's the back of the board. And underneath the board, it looks like this. So now you still got all your 15 outlets and plus USB, and you get 1.5 amp hours on that. And I know that doesn't, you know, that's 1500 milliamps. So you get a nice, you know, lot of USB power there as well. All right. So now I just want to kind of So I got a couple options here. I can go ahead and run the power, but I don't know where I want to run it to just yet. So let's go ahead and map it out first. Now, when I'm mapping it out a pedal board this big, I'm thinking about where I would like to press things. You know, typically I like my effects loop. So this is my effects loop pedal. This is a true T-tone 3-way effects loop. So this allows me to have 3 different effects loops on my pedal board. So I normally like to keep that like around here. Well, I don't know why I'm sticking that down so much, but bam, you know, there, just roughing it out kind of. Ideally, I want to have space for this as well. And that's been one of my main obstacles, getting this on the pedal board. So I'm gonna start with this. I really want this like here. I really want that kind of there. And that's because this pretty much will control a lot of the presets and modifiers and stuff like that. What's going on, folks? I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out. What's good? Hit that like button for me. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff. And super chat, gifts, all that good stuff. I appreciate it all. So just showing you how to set up. If you got a lot of pedals, you know what I'm saying, nice size pedal board. So I know I'm going to want this on the pedal board as well. I don't want to have to carry this separately. That's one of the reasons why I'm switching to this, because I'm tired of carrying things separately that I could just have on the pedal board. So I want this typically. This could actually go underneath if I wanted to, like. Yeah, I could have that sit underneath if I wanted to, but how I want it to sit. Might do it there. Like here would be a good place underneath. Still gives me access to everything. But let's just see if we can fit it on top of the board, just for, you know, we don't have that many pedals. We're only doing 15 pedals. So all right. So after this, I know I'm gonna want this like right here. Right here. So luckily, the amazing Meris X, just beautiful pedal. You know, stereo in and out, expression pedal, MIDI in and out, full MIDI in and out, USB-C for updates and all that good stuff, and it runs on 9-volt, 300 milliamps. So I don't need that extra thing there. Actually, you know what I need right before this? Right after that, so working backwards here, I need this looper pedal on here. Now, I'm debating if I want the looper pedal up front, like this having it here. to have that like there as well. And I don't just always go based on order. Like I can wire up the pedal board to be whatever order I need it to be once I have everything in place where I'm comfortable with it being. So, but I try to keep things in order so I can minimize cabling as well. So now I can go ahead and stick this right up against that as well. This don't even need any space between these two. Outputs are right here, and right here, inputs, outputs. All the buttons are here. You know, I don't need it, and that side doesn't have anything. Next up, I kind of want these ToneX pedals. Matter of fact, you know what I thought about? I want this here because I mostly operated with my right foot. That's what I'm most comfortable with. And we got the dual ToneX Ones. Bow signature bass collection, the original ToneX One, and if you buy it through the link in the description, you know what I'm saying, helps out the channel a lot. So we're gonna run these simultaneously and left and right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them close together so I can actually push them at the same time. I'll have to put them in the select mode, but I'll basically be able to toggle them at the same time, you know, having them this close. Basically, you feel me? Bam, in there. So they won't exactly be this close, but they'll be about this close, so relatively the same. And I think I want to run that right before the I want some space between certain things. Like I want some space between this button and these in case for whatever reason. I just want some space. All right. I also know I want to bring my Electro Harmonix V256 vocoder with me. So I need this mic input here. So I typically position this like here, leave a little bit of space for the power to kind of duck down. All right, so from there, typically like to have, this is just what I'm used to, the key 9 and the male 9 there. Put the Enzo X, gotta have that Enzo X. Another beauty by Meris, you know what I'm saying? Just absolute beautiful pedal. I love the gold. Stands out on the pedal board really well, but more importantly, it stands out sound-wise. Like best synth, polyphonic synth, and new bass synth, you know what I'm saying? You can use it as a key, with a keyboard and everything. So full MIDI in and out, same thing as the Meris X, same power demands, and stereo in and out, expression, MIDI in and out, and USB for firmware update. So, and these are built in California, USA. So, bow. Might put that there. That way I got access to these expression, the pitch and drone. Till I get my POG 3 back, I'm sticking with the old tried and true faithful Hog 2. And this only, believe it or not, only running 200 milliamps. So, you know, we got plenty of space. Put that right there. You also need this little thing. I'll probably, push come to shove, if I need space, I might just put it underneath because I'm controlling all the presets through MIDI anyway. So, you know, I'm not really needing to save new sounds too much on the Hog 2 anymore. You know, I got, this only has 100 preset slots and I've used all of them. So, of course, don't like it there. I might just put it there just because it's space ain't in the way. I might actually move this over. I actually want this, these are pretty good, you know. These are not going to replace a keyboard synth, these MXR bass synth pedals, but you can create some great sounds with them, especially if you're using it with an expression pedal. So, you know, one of my biggest things with this, I gotta fit it somewhere. I gotta fit it somewhere where I can fit an expression pedal input into here. So this actually don't need this much space. And really this can slide over just a tad bit. Bam. Give enough space for that. I kind of need this to sit up a little higher. So typically when I need that to happen, I make these little Velcro pad, like one side's the catch side, one side's the scratchier side, you know. So I'll take a couple of these. Just kind of create the space I need. So it sits up a little bit more, and that way when I'm trying to press it, I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm stepping on the other pedal. For your first pedal, what do I recommend? Haha, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, your first pedal. How long have you been playing? Is a better question. Thank you. Better question is how long you've been playing, so I can give you a better recommendation. And what would you say your playing level is? Because I'm gonna recommend something you're not gonna be able to grasp. But matter of fact, don't even worry about it. This is what I recommend as your first pedal. If you're a bass player and you don't have anything, yeah, a year or two, sure. Zoom MS-60B Plus is going to give you the full all the effects you need. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to give you like amp models, everything, modulations, delay, drives, reverbs, synths, everything. So you can kind of learn. This is Zoom pedals like this are how I learned how to use big, massive setups like this. I started with this, with something. I actually started. So this was my first bass pedal, um, which is a Eden WTDI, which is just a pretty much a Eden head in a pedal form. EQ section. It's got a compressor, enhanced knob, gain, and master. It's also a DI box and all that stuff. But one of my soon thereafter purchases was a Zoom B3. You know what I'm saying? And this has 3 effects at a time. And same thing. It's the older version, or it's the older version actually of the Zoom B6, but it's like, think of it like an older version of this. You know, you get 6 effects at a time with this, and this you only get 3. You know what I'm saying? So this would be a great investment and learning tool for you. And they typically around $120. You know, $100. So yeah, check those out. Those would be a decent investment for you without breaking the bank, and you still get plenty of bang for your buck. Like, you'll have plenty of stuff to keep you busy for a long time with that little pedal. And then when you're ready for things, when those effects don't become not good enough in certain aspects, you know, you can upgrade. That's how I ended up with like a Meris Enzo X and a Meris Mercury X, and as well as the ToneX pedals. So, all right, we almost there. That's cool. What else we got? Future Impact. We can put that right there. Just have enough space for the MIDI cables and stuff. And I recommend these for the folks that want a real bass synth. This is a real bass synth pedal that sounds as good as any keyboard while you're playing your bass. And you can still play it with a keyboard. You got MIDI in and out, and you can play, like, it'll track your bass and allow you to play other MIDI instruments, like say a Yamaha motif or one of the rolling keyboards. You can play those sounds with your bass as well through this pedal. So, you know, y'all can check that out on the YouTube channel as well. All these pedals have reviews, so if you're interested in any of these pedals that you see and learning what they do and how to use them, check out my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want preset packs for stuff like this, if you don't know what you're doing with a 4 oscillator synth, because this is what it is. This is pretty much a vintage bass synth in a pedal. Best vintage bass synth so far in the history of the world. That's how I'm rolling with it. And a deep freeze. Now, I know you say I have a Hog 2 with freeze glitch, but this sounds different to me. And this has auto mode, and I like the way I have everything set up. This just is really easy, and it really gets me the exact sound I want, and it's already set up. So I just love this little pedal. I thought I was going, you know, the Hog 2 or the Pog 3 when it ever gets back. You know what I'm saying, from Electro Harmonics. This has a different sound to it, so I'm gonna keep that on the board too. I'm gonna try to keep this little area clear in case, depending on how the MIDI gets set up too. So from here, we only got one more pedal we really need to add. So We got that dead. I don't like that dead, but stick that dead shit or whatever. That ain't gonna work. So let me see. I need to get this on there. This is like one of the first things in my chains. This might be okay. It depends on the order. I know I want. Well, I want this down here because I need to be able to step on it. Just need enough room to run a expression pedal. And yes. I'm gonna put that there. That looks straight. I don't want anything difficult for me to get my foot to. Like, I wear a size 12, so it gets a little annoying. What's going on? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Yeah, we live, bro. Awesome. Congratulations on your first 6 string. What's going on? So, all right. I guess this kind of the layout, I guess. I'm not satisfied. Not satisfied at all right now. That could work. Doesn't look great, but it'll work. It's like this. That'll work. It doesn't feel the best. Granted, I won't have to do that because I have this switch I have right here on my MIDI captain, just like this blue switch I have right here as well. So tried to color coordinate them a little bit. Those two together. It's not a bad layout. Well, this can always be on, so it can just go like that. For real. This don't really, cause I'm gonna put this on the first loop, so this just always gonna be on. So I just turn that sideways and bam, made my life a lot easier. So that's the layout I think I'm going with. All right. So from here, do I want to run audio or power first? Let's get the power out the way. Yeah, and I don't mind this being here because I can still step on it if I need to. Do I have one more of these topper things? Oh, we got 2 more. Let's go. Haha, we got 2 more. All right. Put that there. I'll put one here just in case I want to use like the filter. Hmm. Yeah. Put one there in case I want to use this foot switch, even though I have it triggered already. So I have this and that. So this I have set up on a page on the, let's call it the expression page of the MIDI Captain I have set up. It's page, I put it on all my expressions on page 6 in the geek mode. So basically this foot switch here controls the freeze list function, and this one controls the same as this foot switch here, or the expression out. So it's the same, this, and the expression pedal are all the same function based on whatever this is selected here. So that's cool. I got enough room here where I can get in and out in the expression pedal, because that's how you really unlock the sounds of the MXR bass synth. You gotta, have that expression pedal. So bam, hit that bam, 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 bam. Everything seemed to have enough room. There's plenty of room back here. All right. So I think this will work. This layout in general. All right. So unfortunately, let me see if I should just run power like this, and then I kind of know where everything is. Yeah, let me do that. All right, let me get where's the power. Oh, this is power. So I gotta have a USB cable, a USB hub, and this hub is going to power the MIDI Captain and the, where is it? I just had it. Oh, this CME H2 MIDI Pro. I mean H4 MIDI Pro. This one has the 4 outlets, 4 MIDI ports, 2 in, 2 out. Plus it has you can have up to 8 USB MIDI devices on here. You got preset button there, as well as USB-C for connecting to a computer or powering it as well. And we'll be taking advantage of that powering option. We'll be powering it with the hub. So, all right. We're not gonna worry about the MIDI power and stuff, but these cables come in 2 different lengths. They give you 15 power cables with it as well. I believe this is the longer length. So as you can see, it's long enough to reach. You see the pedal supply, the power supply is right here. It's long enough to reach past the power supply from the furthest pedals. So we'll start with these. So power going here. Matter of fact, let's do this. Just to be fancy, man. I don't want this. I need this back just slightly. Like that. And I can then run the power straight underneath. Beautiful. Least amount of, trying to have the least amount of cable exposed. power and otherwise. So, swap. So now the power comes around here and then straight underneath. That power. Right. And here's one of the shorter length power supplies. Let me bring this over here so I can see. Thanks, I appreciate that. No, I don't need a Digitech Wham. I got things better than Digitech Wham over here. I might use it in church tomorrow. Depends. If I get enough likes, y'all give me enough hype, hit the hype button for me a few times. Share this for me. I appreciate y'all. I'll try. Y'all do that for me, I'll take this whole rig to church tomorrow. It ain't no hassle but to throw it in the bag and plug up one power supply. Come and smack out of here, out of the Canvas audio. I can sum it up, run it to the amp, run the rest to the house. It's easy. It makes my life so much easier. Oh, and this is the shorter length. Let me see, where's the longer one? This is a longer one compared to the shorter length cable. So that's the shorter one, the longer one. But, and the reason I don't need a Digitech Wham pedal is because I have a Hog 2 here if I want to do that. And I can literally control the freeze. I can freeze it and, you know, drop it an octave or drop it up an octave, 2 octaves. And I have Enzo X and the Meris X, which also have amazing polyphonic shifters in there that track perfectly. They have a little more latency, but they track perfectly. But in terms of lightning fast latency and great tracking, the Hog 2 is a great at that. You know, those whammy pedals are cool and all, but they don't really float my boat, and they take up too much space, so they wouldn't even make it on my pedal board. Plus, I got 10 octaves here. You talking about adding 1 octave. This Hog 2 has 10 octaves. Count them. An octave, 2 octaves down, 1 octave down. Your unison pitch, plus dry. Then you got a fifth up, octave up, an octave and a fifth, 2 octaves, 2 octaves and a third, 3 octaves, and 4 octaves. Shoot, I mean, what else you need from that, right? What's that pedal supposed to do? No, I don't need a whammy for anything, any purposes. I have exactly what I need to do that effect, but better. I have way better options than a whammy. I'm not a fan of those at all. All right, so here, I'm debating if I want to run. I might just run it here, just smooth. See if this will work. Well, if I scoot this back just a smidge. So we want that like that. Take this. Bam, bam. And we even got a little space between. Make sure that's not underneath. Make sure you got no pressure on it. All right, cool. Yeah, even at church, I be using effects. I be using like the MSR bass synth, the Future Impact. I've used the Mercury. I use the Mercury X, believe it or not, as my end of the chain. Like it's has an amazing stereo compressor. The preamps in there are really good. They don't like I use the op amp with the gain really low. Just gives me a small amount of saturation like a LA2A would, in my opinion, or kind of in that area. And I also have a high pass filter to get rid of some of them unnecessary low filters. Yeah, we do a little bit of everything. Tomorrow we doing more quartet type music tomorrow, so we gonna be straight in the pocket tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie to you. We ain't fixing to do too much, but play some good bass. You feel me? Got to get that paycheck, and you know, celebrate a little bit. You gotta celebrate God a little bit in there. That's the main thing. But it is how we make a living too. So I'm not actually a church music. Well, I am a church musician. I'm a musician in general though. I primarily play fusion and jazz and stuff like that, and I play classical, work with Baltimore Symphony Orchestra and stuff like that as well. And I do musicals, and I played in rock bands. I've done pretty much a lot. I've done a lot of different styles. So we do a little bit of everything, man. We try to. I'm about as versatile as they come, to be honest. Play any and everything. If you got my check, listen to me. Hey, you got my check? You got yourself a bassist. Hey, that's how that works. You know what I'm saying? When you eat off it, it's a little different of a ball game. You want to be, in theory, you want to be all choicey and I only take gigs with the highest of the high and only make $1 million per gig, and man, that's not always realistic. Listen, and whoever got your check is whoever you need to be worrying about. Everybody else can shut up. Okay? That's what everybody else can do. You got my check? I'm all ears. Let's see what else we got here. We gotta run these ToneX, these double ToneX right back. Bow. So we're gonna use one of the longer ones for this. And just to keep it neat, we're gonna run them both to the center of them. Cause I love how, first off, they gave you really low profile. Let me see how you compare it to. Got a few different ones here. These are some of the ones that came with the CS12s. So you can see how much smaller it is compared, same size barrel, just a smaller footprint, even especially on this part here, on this end, it's much smaller and more compact. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big difference. And I know it doesn't seem like a big difference, but it is. You see how I just be having them all tied together? Bam. Run these ToneX Ones. Yeah, definitely when you guys get a chance, man. Yeah, they definitely a very low profile. And, oh, I forgot. They got this joint on sale, too. Let me see. Let me put it in the chat. They got this joint on sale for that Canvas Power 15. They got that joint on sale for $215. Let me see if it's on sale still. Oh no, it's off sale. Dag it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it again. Yeah, this is the one I bought, right? Yeah. They had it on sale for $215 for Black Friday, yo. Like, Got that joint smooth. Like what? 215 for 15, 500 milliamp milliamp outputs. Come on, that's sickening. Let's see. Let's put this in here. Put this in the chat. Let me see. So now everybody should have it in the chat. Yeah, 215. Sheesh. Yeah, I mean even for 260, 260, 270, these the CS12s are 270s. The new CS11 I think it is, or whatever the True Tone's newer power amp, that's 270. But it's still the same amount of outlets and usable 9-volt outlets. Most pedals are not 12 volt and 18 volt, so I'm glad that Canvas provided options to get rid of those completely. Like we don't need, you know, we don't need a specific 18 volt, 12 volt outlets. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to, even the MXR ISO brick, that was one of my beasts with that. It's 10 outputs, but 2 of those are 18 volts. And they're in awkward places. They're not even like right next to each other in a corner or something they're like in the middle of it where you really have to look and make sure that you're not going to blow up your pedals, like, which is kind of irritating. But, you know, don't get me wrong, where I get these from? These are the ones that came with the MXR ISO brick right here. These are really long. I do like the length of these. These are incredible. Like the longer length of these, all of them are like just about that length. But you can see the difference in the barrel sizes there. The barrel size same, but the actual lower profile plug area here. And the plug feels a little more sturdy than this kind of double stuff here. This feels like a little more solid. The other end of the plug, you see that's a huge difference there. So definitely makes a difference. No, I need to get a community Discord. That's something I probably should have. Because I really don't mind you guys asking questions, and I want you guys to be able to communicate with each other as well. Another reason these little low profile plugs are good too. Let's see. I need 2 really short ones real quick. They use all the short ones. They only give you a few short ones, and they give you mostly long ones, and I prefer that, so that's fine. But these little plugs can fit in areas like this. And I can turn them downward, and I can still, compared to other plugs, I couldn't get a 1/4 inch in here. With other plugs in there, they would still be blocking the 1/4 inch. So having that ability like that, be low profile, means it fits a little bit more seamlessly into your stuff. Like even here, I don't have to do too much. I can just get in this little space and plug it up because of the profile of the plug. So that's definitely a huge bonus with this newer system here. All right, that there. MXR plug, power plugs are on the side, so you know, makes it a little difficult sometimes because everybody else's is not. But all right, so we got some more here. More nice long plugs. You don't have to power this three-way looper here, but if you want the LED lights, you will. And we just drop that down there. Oh, I didn't get this off of ToneX. Hey. That like that. Enzo X. Got this Enzo X. Sounded amazing on the gig last night. And I didn't even use it as a synth pedal. I was primarily using it as modulations. The filter was cutting. First of all, I made the meanest envelope filter with that joint. I mean, this has completely erased my need for envelope filters and all that stuff altogether. This has some of the best sounding filters I've ever heard on any pedal, as well as those same filters are on, the ladder and the state variable filter are on the Meris X as well. So, you know, but this also has a twin filter like the baseballs. So not only can I get the baseball sound, I can get the Moog filter sounds, I can get the MXR bass envelope filter type sounds, the electroharmonics blurst, LFO. I can make an LFO filter. I can do everything within here. So I don't need to have a separate filter pedal. I don't need to have any distortion pedals. I don't need to have any modulation pedals because between this and this, the modulations are amazing. It just, the stuff you can do with it is just insane. I can't say that enough. The stuff you can do, but they sound good. It sounds good just as like a multi-effects unit as well, like with the individual effects. Like if I just want a chorus, this is going to be the chorus I prefer, the one in here. This has a different type of chorus. This has like a 79 chorus or 78 chorus, something like that. I think it's 79 chorus. The one in here is my main chorus. Flanger, phaser, tremolo, bit crusher, ring mod, all that stuff. It's my favorite ring mod pedal too. Crazy. All in one pedal. And I know it's $600. But if between this and this, they have replaced 12 pedals off of my pedal board. That's why none of the Zoom or the HX1 or the Source Audio pedals, it took all three of the Source Audio pedals off. The C4 synth, the Atlas compressor, and the Spectrum. And those pedals aren't trash. Those pedals are great pedals, but man, like the stuff on the Meris pedals are just incredible. And no, I'm not paid to say that by Meris. And no, I'm not even endorsed by Meris. And no, I do not get any kickback from you buying Meris pedals. You know, it's just sometimes when you're impressed, you're just simply impressed. You know? Tape on this thing too strong. Good gracious. I want to move this over just a little bit, and I'll have more room for that MXR pedal. To get that expression pedal in and out. There. All right. What else needs power? Future Impact needs power. Fortunately enough, this runs off of the Hog 2. Run it straight down. In there. To the side like that, that'll be just fine. I think we got everything powered up with the exception of the MIDI captain. And just a tip, if you are going to get a MIDI captain, please get the rechargeable batteries. Otherwise, it will glitch out sometimes when you're trying to save presets. So get the rechargeable batteries, and then even still, when you're programming it, run power, turn it, go to the menu and turn on the charging and use either a 9-volt or USB power in addition to that, because it'll make it much more stable. Trust me. I was having that problem forever. I had to keep going, replacing. So if it mess up, if it glitches while you saving, like say I was glitched while I was saving this foot switch, I'd have to go on the computer, change it, and get it to not glitch out like that no more. You know, go replace the actual file, which is a hassle. You know, it's not the end of the world, and it's doable, but it's a hassle. Okay, I think we all powered up here. Just got to plug things in and see where we can go from there. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Looks like I'm going to have to just get up. It's kind of where I want everything to be, but I also got to do the audio, so I don't like having to pull them off, you know. But I don't want them to fall off real quick, so I got to do it like this. Pedals cost too much money to be just dropping. You feel me? So, definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, if you feel like you're not ready for them to, you know what I'm saying, like, you don't want to just grab one of these Series X pedals, Meris Series X pedals. This is not beginner pedals. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, there's a difference. If you want to get into learning effects, get you something like a Zoom MS-60B Plus. If you want a lot of variety of delays and reverbs to experiment with and modulations, filters. They got EQs in there, compressors. You can literally experiment a lot with a MS-60B Plus before you spend a lot of money on, you know, a $600 pedal. You know, these aren't cheap. So, you know, even things like the Hog 2. You know, if you want to learn how to use something like a Hog 2, start off using the pitch shifters and the MS-70 CDR Plus. You know what I'm saying? And then just learn how to manipulate that sound. And then as you get into other pedals, everything is just an extension of the signal chain that you flow, signal chain, whatever that you decide it is. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Hopefully nothing falls off. All right. So now we're up underneath. Let's see. Things are the furthest. I definitely like the things that are the furthest. I like to give them the outlets closest to them. So bam. Hard part when you got all this extra cabling, boy. Okay. I'm just gonna make this easy on myself. I'm not fixing to. I don't do all this extra lacing and extra stuff because I move my pedal board around too much for that. 11 a.m. Eastern time is what time we start. We start church tomorrow. I'll be live streaming church. I should have live streamed this gig last night. I had a gig last night that was like 5 hours. Ended up because they paid us to keep playing, and they just wanted us to keep playing and keep playing. So ended up being 5 hours. Like, it was a long gig, bro. And nah, that wasn't for free. I don't do none of that for free. You want me to keep playing? You keep paying, I keep playing. That's how that go. So these really long ones like this, we're gonna group those together. I'm gonna group these two together, but I'm gonna end up with this attached and this one. These three are going to be attached together. They might even be linked in. Matter of fact, this. I'm going to have all of these come up to here. And then I'm actually going to, like, whatever I got slack on, I'm going to just make a circle right here. And that'll make my life easier. All right. Ready, set, and go. I'm actually going to take these. I'm going to run them through here. I already got this on here, so might as well use it. All right. And no, I'm not a professional pedal board builder. I just love it. Got a good old chair right here, huh? So I just routed all those power cables, all these ones from this side, and the ToneX and the Enzo X. All that's routed right here all together. Makes my life easier. And then I'll probably have this jointed as well. Let's do that here. So basically, we're gonna run through this loop here, and I got another loop here. And then we're gonna take all of these and do the same. This is where it takes a bit of patience. It's not always just throw it together and it's done. You know, especially when you got to run 3 sets of cables. I have to run power cables, I have to run audio cables, and MIDI cables. So it takes a little bit of while. Normally this is done without you guys seeing it, of course. This I might actually run over here just so I can loop it back, just to take up some slack. Just gonna take this and run it there. That's gonna take up just a little bit of slack in there. That ain't gonna stick again, but that's fine. Take this here. Bam. Just trying to keep it all neat. But might as well do the same thing with this one. Really, I'm gonna run it over here and then run it back as well. It just seems to take up a good amount of slack. Because these long, they gave you some really long cables here, so you ain't stressing about getting to the length you need. That's for sure. So, bam. So, bam. Run that like that. I don't like that. So I'm going to come up underneath the other power cables and then go down into it. And that makes for a cleaner line there. So bam. So a lot of this is just wired up like that. Bam. Let's see what else we got. I don't know why I got that like that, but it ain't bothering me. So, the main thing is protecting these wires if anything does touch the bottom. That's what I try to do. Just have some protection here. So, then we got these. Okay, voila. And we got these. Where's the short one over here? This is the short one. So we just gonna come up, over, I'm just using the existing stuff I got here because I don't feel like doing too much. I don't like to glue it down per se. We're going to take these, run them up here to this. Snoop. Bam. We're going to run them down here. Bow. Right. We're going to come through this loop. Try to do this in a way where it won't get all tied, tied up. Zinc. Wow. And then down. I think I'll loop it around again. One more time. Come back. And I'm actually going to come through this hoop again. And voila. Took up a good amount of space there. Still got to figure out what we're going to do with these. Like this. But as you can see, it's starting to get a little more organized. Keep that a little more tight. All right, let's plug them up. Ready, set, go. Thing I love is I don't have to worry about the order. I don't have to worry about the outlet. Take this over this way. Underneath these. Doesn't even matter. In fact, then we're going to take this one under and up. If I was trying to be super particular and all that good stuff, I could, zip tie things down to where I'm not particularly worried. Power don't really be as much of a problem as audio cables end up being at times. For these longer ones, I might just run them back. Plug up these shorter ones. Get them out the way. All right. We're going to run these back through here. Make sure you don't tie a knot with them. So, I'm just layering them. I'm not making a knot. That's really important. Voila. Now we got some really short one right there. We just throw them in there. A little more. All right, so we're gonna take these, do the same thing. Bam. Yeesh. That was a task, wasn't it? Bam. 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 So, not my greatest greatest little job there, but so that's the power. That's the power there. Make sure I hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah, could I go back and zip tie everything down all hard? Yeah, but like I said, my pedal board changes so much. I don't feel like doing that. Right, that. I think I'm gonna put power right here. Or right here. I think that's where I'm gonna put the little wall wart joint. Have this come up here like this. That is the only drawback to it being, you know, what it is. This Canvas Power 15, you gotta have this separate whole wall wart type thing. And to be honest, you know, even with this, it's still less weight than the other joint. So everything's a little bit of a trade-off, I guess. Trying to see the best way to lock this joint down. Like, would it be to have it like that or like this? Like off to the side, kinda. Yeah. And it fit in that little groove like that, and I can plug in from here. Just put a zip tie around the bottom and the top. Think I can do this with some zip ties. Put this. Zip tie this one like this. Gotta try to do it with one hand. Come here. Get in there. Dang it. Ta-da. Bam. want it to sit like this. So, oh, don't fall. Maybe it'd be better just to sit it like this. Nice and flat. I can put one zip tie here. And it's flush with the board. I don't want it to stay like that though. Ah. So right here, I'm putting two zip ties here to just keep this thing in place. Come on. Right. Dang it, come on. And I gotta do something to make sure it don't slide. Hold on. Let me see something. Damn it. I put it, I flip it over. That's beautiful. That fit right there perfect. Need to loosen this joint where it applies. Yeah, you can definitely make a nice pedal board. That joint sounds nice. That sounds nice. It's, you know, I ain't as fortunate. I don't work at the, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta get it the best way I can. Yeah. That there. Just need to get that. That actually works. go. Oh, that's actually locked down pretty good. Sheesh. Okay, bet. With the good old zip tie. I'm gonna put another one on there just for good measure. If you didn't know, you can loosen a zip tie with a pair of pliers. You don't have to cut this off like that. You can just it's gonna take a little bit of force. Let's see. Need this one. Just gonna pick it up. Now you got your brand new zip tie back. I'm gonna put another zip tie here. And this one's only gonna need one. Alright. Take our little snips. Flush cut. Bam. And we need another one here. Wow. Alright. Alright, now got this USB cable. And we have this USB hub. Yeah, the brick goes to power the canvas. Yeah, I use those little white ones too, little small little zip ties. But I use zip ties for a lot of stuff, so I try not to, zip tie down too much. Because I always end up changing my pedal board. Really, I can strap this on top of here like this. Like this. Trying to debate if I want to use a little extension. No, this should be fine. Just plug that in there. Let's see if we can get this to sit how we want. Yep. Just we're gonna have this sit like this. That's gonna be pointing at the ground. Nah, that ain't gonna work like that. And if I can get this to sit like this, or even closer to here, that's fine. Or maybe even right there. That's fine with me. Still out the way. Still accessible as well. I think that's doable. Hey, this is in the way, man. It ain't gotta sit perfectly. It's underneath the board. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna run another zip tie underneath here. Catch it right there. I'm gonna let this sit right there, but we're gonna zip that baby down. They want to sit right on top of this joint. I got all these cables right here. Come on, baby. There we go. Just move it right here. Keep that there. Now I can have this here. And not feel bad. Cool. So, got USB power now on here. All we gotta do is plug it up. But we gotta get rid of some of this extra cable in here, so I'm just taking up some of the length. Just kind of braiding this right through here. Just making a big loop. That's all I'm doing. The cable management part of pedal boards is what really take you all this extra time and stuff, man. Like just trying to make it so everything's not confusing when you go look at the bottom of your board. And this ain't even a pretty job, you feel me? Like, I could do it much better than this. I'm just not. time. And what else we need? The MIDI captain. And I got this H2 MIDI Pro. I think I might do MIDI on this side of the board, right here. Oh, that's convenient. Well, that's mighty convenient. The this H4 MIDI Pro somehow fits perfectly right here. We can put it perfectly in the corner. Ain't that beautiful? We're just gonna put it just like this. It's even snugger of a fit with a zip tie. That little tiny extra space. Matter of fact, let's do. Nice snug fit there. Beautiful. Want this to perfectly align right there. It's already stable. And we're gonna slide this over here. Damn it. Oh, that's beautiful. So this is what we got so far. We even got the H4 MIDI Pro right here. So this is gonna allow us push that in just a little bit. Now it's nice and flush. But as you can see, it's not going anywhere. Fits perfectly right there. Then we got power. Got power over here. Right here. And we got MIDI hub, USB hub right here. And as you can see, we don't have any wires dangling. All right. So we actually wired up here. See. Oh, I know what else I gotta do. I need one more USB-C cable. We gotta go from here to where? Hit all the way over there. Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go. So USB-C from here, and as you can see, this is a really long one, and this is so if I want to run my like control my routing from my computer, I can just do that from right here. I just go underneath the board, unplug it, send it out. Make my life easier. So in order to do that, we're just gonna string it along the side here. Loop. Get that through there. And we're gonna take it through here too. And this one's just gonna have a lot of extra just because. So I'm actually just gonna wrap it up under here. See if I can get this through here. Get it through here. So now you got that type of action going. You want to tuck this under here because underneath all this, we're going to put this extra. In fact, we're just going to tuck it right here for when we need it. We'll kind of rely on friction to keep this in place. And if I need it, I'll just come and file, plug it in, you know, pull the rest of it out and curl it back up when I don't need it. But bam, so everything should have power now. Let's just check. So the one, unfortunately, the one, their plug they sent that's like this was kind of short. So I got a much longer one that I use that'll reach way across the room if I needed it to. Because nobody ever wants the pedal board. No, the pedal board's never in a convenient spot to the power, you know. So you just come right here and see the top of it. Oh, that makes sense. Sideways. Man, look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Nice and flush. That's beautiful. Oh, just gotta turn on the power. Boy, look at that thing. Light up like a Christmas tree, don't it? Everything, damn. Damn. Just go and turn everything on. Make sure that that's charging. Yep. Power, power. This is getting power as well. And the USB and the rechargeable batteries are charging. So, bam, there you go. And like I said, the cool thing about having this MIDI captain here, even with the, especially with the rechargeable batteries, now because I'm gonna be running a separate MIDI cable, I can literally just take this off, run the MIDI. I might even get the Bluetooth MIDI thing, and that way I can just take this, and this will be completely wireless in terms of rechargeable and the wireless MIDI adapter that you can get for the CME H4 MIDI Pro. So we got all the lights here. Everything's on. Powered. Seems to be happy. Okay. All right. Cool. We don't need that on. Let's turn it off. Like that. All right. I don't know if this board gonna make it. This turned out to be much more of a task than I thought it was gonna be. All right, so now we gotta start wiring stuff up. I gotta make a decision here what I want to be on each loop. So I think on this first loop, I'm just gonna have the Empress compressor. Second loop, second loop is gonna be the octavers. So the Future Impact, Bass Synth, and Hog 2 all be on this red switch here. So green's gonna be compressor, red's gonna be octavers and bass synths, and blue is gonna be deep freeze, key 9, male 9, Rabbit sitar into the V256 vocoder. Then from there, it'll come out of there, come out of here, and come over to the Enzo X, where it'll be going stereo. Let's just call it left, right, left channel, right channel. And then come out of there, each one of these separately, come into the Meris X, then running from the Meris X down to the Jam Man HD Solo. From here, we run back up to the Canvas line isolator, stereo line isolator, and we're done. All right, let's make it happen. So, I hate doing this. So I need to do a little bit of separating of the cables just to make my life easier. So let's go with small, medium, and large cables. Large cable, medium, small. Really large cable. That's going in a separate category. Medium. Small ones. Large one. Medium. All right, let's get these small ones together. Small. And the reason I do this is so I can minimize the amount of cable I'm using. I want to use the shortest cable possible pretty much at all times. Might use that for them ToneX pedals, but that's a lot of extra cable. Okay. All right. I definitely appreciate y'all that's hanging in there with me. I know this is it's a long, going on 2 hours. Sheesh. Definitely appreciate y'all. These mediums. So you're gonna take this one, go down underneath. Matter of fact, I'm gonna unplug that power so I don't have to keep moving that around because it's gonna take a few bit of moving around here. Sneak up in between everything else. so that's done. Then we got to go back. That ain't gonna work. Damn. All right, so effects loop 1 done. Effects loop 2. We need round 1 from here to here, to here. So since I got to use this space here anyway, might as well go ahead and just use one of these straight plugs and have that come underneath here. Shazam. Up out of there. Bow. Still got to get a cable from here to here. It's not quite long enough. It's too long. Yeah. I'm gonna need one of these. Sorry. But reuse this zip tie. Shape. This works perfectly. Bam. And this gotta go to the end. Dang it. So I can't use this cable here. Well, yes I can. Just can't route it there. Gotta route it over to. I could get this joint like this. No. Got to get a cable longer than this to do that. This fits that. Decisions. That's too much. Take this output here. Put that down there. What? Oh. Let's see. Yes. Quite, huh? That's way too much extra. Step into Slim Jim. Input. I gotta stop putting it on my cable. Power cables. That should be fine. So input to output. Input the output, and then I need one to go back from. See if we can get this. Yep, beautiful. So now, second loop is complete. So first loop, out of here into the Empress compressor back. Second loop, Future Impact V4 VIP MXR bass synth into the Hog 2, back into there. This next loop is going to be bow, 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 bow. So let's get it popping. That's perfect. Yeah. Yes, sirree. I will say with these T-tone jacks, you gotta use these type of plugs, not these flat ones, because they're too wide. So everything that's running out of here, all the cables running out of here and into here, gotta be like this or this straight plug. So it fit a bunch of straight plugs. You get the straight plugs. Now you got to deal with the cable coming straight back out to wherever instead of going down and underneath. So I much rather use the right angle ones. there, we need a couple short ones. Short plugs. Need a really short plug here. All right. Need a cable to go from here over to here. Perfect. This might have been the exact one I made for that. It's possible. All right. From there to there. Then got to come from here to there. So these small ones aren't going to fit. Bam, that's done. Then it's got to come out of there back into there. So perfect. This is why I keep all these different length cables around. Like, none of these are the exact same length. Like, none of these cables. Well, maybe a couple of them. But that's only because I made them in a pair for something. But down, back Plug that back in. Then we just need a cable from here to the Enzo X. This one might do it. That's where that would be sitting. Yep. All right. So we've made tremendous progress so far. It's only taken us a few hours. But let's go. Turn that off. All right, so we're just gonna run stereo out of the Enzo X into each individual ToneX One. That. Same. So, bam. All right, so we just gotta get these cables to the. See how we're gonna do this. This one should work. Come out the left side. Come under here. I want to do left and right, even though I know that's it's gonna confuse me sometimes. I just need to do left and right, regular. Cool. Then I got right side. Might work. Might not. Might be perfect. Yep. Might just be perfect. It was too long. Oh, this the left side, then bam, that should be fine. Beautiful. Left channel complete. Well, not complete. I still got to run down here. Need one more here. That one could be a flat. Beautiful. So we connected all the way to there. That's not gonna work. This will work for this though. And all right, so we here now. Got a pretty clean, decent looking board here. Just need to get the cable from here to here, and well, 2 cables. These can actually be straight plugs. It really doesn't matter. Right there. Wow. Beautiful. All right, so last little thing would be get from here to this through there, no. Can't use another one of those. I don't want that like that, because I don't want to have to unplug it every time I switch. I need this. Alright, so now at least we got all the audio hooked up now. Only thing left would be the MIDI from here and tightening up the audio cables and MIDI cables once we have them finished being installed. Oh, I need this to there. So this. So I'm going to take this down underneath here, and I'm just going Shouldn't want to be a hassle today. Come on. I ain't gonna be able to route it underneath, but just won't look as good. But it is what it is. All right, so got it wired up completely now. All right, if I'm correct, everything should be ready to go. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. Sheesh. Got all these wires tangled up here. All right. Left. Right. See what she talking about. BEA beautiful. Everything's on and popping. So, let me see. Just need a little cable. Oh, sounds hooked up right to me. All right, that means so basically when none of these are lit, let me make sure y'all angle is still good. All right, yeah, we good. So basically, when none of these are lit, that means it's going straight from here, straight out of here to the Enzo X. So when none of these are engaged, like all of this all of this is bypassed. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pedals I don't have to keep in my pedal chain at all times, right? So now it's a much more direct path, pretty much from out of here straight to the Enzo X. Stereo ToneX setup here, and stereo the rest of the path to the Meris X and the Jam Man Solo HD into the Canvas stereo line isolator. So let's see. Everything's hooked up. Beautiful. All right, and so we know everything's hooked up correctly now. That's the biggest thing, just getting everything hooked up correctly. So now from here, I'll go underneath and just try to tidy up. Get these cables a little more tight. Well, I still gotta run the MIDI. Y'all give me a second. Let me go and get something to drink. And we're back. So, as you can see, we got everything, all the audio cables ran, all that good stuff. So, now comes the MIDI cables. These are the MIDI cables I'm using. So, I'm using one stock, one from the MIDI captain. It comes with a MIDI cable. And I use these low profile ones also, so that I got off of Amazon. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MIDI capable pedals, but I don't need MIDI on the V256. So for now, we're not going to run MIDI off of that just because I don't have a MIDI out on this. I only have a MIDI in, and I want to be able to chain this future impact out to other things. So we're going CME H4 MIDI Pro underneath to the Meris X, Enzo X, future impact, and then out of the H4 MIDI Pro again to the Electro Harmonics Hog 2. So let's get that done. That's that. You know what I'm saying? We can put some vibes in the background too. So. So we are just about done. All I have to do now is just go back through, make sure everything nice and secure. That don't have to be secure, that's coming on and off. Okay, so everything's locked down. All I gotta do now is go underneath and wrap up these cables, get them all nice and tight, and we'll be all right. Let me see what's going on here. First thing I'm gonna do is get these MIDI cables right here tied down. In fact, all right. Put a zip tie right there. And remember not to tighten them down too much. Don't tighten your cables down too much. So I'm just actually just gonna zip all this together into like one big cable. Still gotta go through these audio cables too. Bring this up like this. Zip tie. Take one more. Like I say, I really don't want this pulling like that. That's kind of pulling. Gotta let that loose. Dang. There we go. Got that little bit of cabling. Need to do something with this. This can't be like that. I'm gonna do something with this here. That right there is actually fine, but I just prefer a little bit there. Okay. Damn it. Seatbelt. Yeah. That up. Get that there. Zip ties are absolutely your best friend when you're doing something like this. Beautiful. Keep that up. And it's all over here. Let's take that one. Let's do. You zip ties here and there, and you're in business. Trying to think what I want to do. I need this to be able to come out too, and just make it easier on myself. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to keep another USB cable around. And I don't feel like having to do that, so let's take this out of these if we can. This one's pretty tight. Yeah, I'll just hook up a separate one because it's right there. It ain't hard to get to. And I can leave that like that and it be out the way. Up out the way. That's the name of the game. Up out the way. See one right there, no. The strength of both of those should be fine. Yeah, this is always the most tedious part. You're just trying to manage the cables and whatnot. I normally do use much smaller zip ties, but I don't have any more. So. All right, so this is pretty much what the underneath of the board looks like. Where's my little snippers? Snip that. So this is this is what it looks like finished underneath. I don't know if that's a. Let me pick it up, I guess. Just make sure everything good. So this is the bottom. This is the top of it. That's the MIDI coming out there. Then you got the power supply there. And plugs there. You know, everything you need. And it's not even heavy. Like, this joint actually is really, without having too chunky, without having these, it's amazing. Like, it's, sorry about that, guys, but it's, these are so heavy. Like, especially when you put them on together, like this alone takes so much weight off of the board. This alone. Not that they aren't solid power supplies or good power supply. It's just for the weight, the size, the heat they generate as well is also a factor for me. But this is decently light. So, you know, just so you can see, plugged up one more time. So this goes like this. See if I can plug it up without looking. Yep. For me, that means it's in a good spot. Because it only fits one way, right? So, voila. We up in there. Make sure I got that MIDI hooked up. This one. This one. All right, so everything's up and running. Oh, that's beautiful. Took a while, but once you got it done, it's done. Make sure we get beautiful. We got the outs to the ends. Yeah, so I ain't see y'all all these questions. Sorry about that, guys. I was underneath the board. Um, Thank you, I appreciate it. No, the board light, man. And no, that's a canvas line isolator. The MIDI Captain does have the rechargeable batteries, but I'm also powering it from the same Canvas Power 15. This whole board, including the MIDI, is powered by the Canvas Power 15, including the USB devices. So, mm, so yeah, that's a line isolator. So it's like a DI box, but it shoots out line level. Has two XLR outs on the side here that are line stereo in, stereo line out as well. So if I want to run 2 amps, I can. If I want to and run stereo to the house, I can do all of that. Um, yeah. Only thing, only thing now. I mean, I really don't need anything else at this point. Like, only thing else I might get pedal wise probably be like a LVX or whatever people send me to review. Of course, you know, I'm always willing to review new pedals, and I'm always open to have my mind changed if a company would like to say, you know, hey, we want to challenge. You know, you said such and such is the best pedal for this. We want to, challenge. I'm more than welcome, and I'll be fair and honest as possible. So, I definitely appreciate y'all. I'm actually going to wrap this up. I definitely appreciate everybody hanging out with me. Again, let's just so everybody know, just so we get the big payoff and everything. So this is, I come into the board here. If none of these lights, none of these effects loops, it's 3 effects loops. If none of them are on, I go straight to the Enzo X, left, right with the ToneX Ones, which I can press with 1 foot, and stereo to the Meris X and to the Jam Man Solo and into the Canvas line isolator. That's the simplest pedal path. So ultimately, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 pedals in my each signal path, left and right. So if I don't have any of these engaged, but the Empress compressor will probably stay on all the time anyway. But for the most part, when I don't want compression here, I can just press it there. I don't have to touch the pedal. It makes it really convenient, Red loop is Future Impact V4 VIP, MXR bass synth to the Electro Harmonics Hog 2, and back into the looper. And then the blue loop is the Deep Freeze Key 9, Mel 9, Ravish Sitar V256 vocoder, and back. And then the rest of the chain from the Enzo X on. So You know, it's not as complicated as it seems. It's just different signal paths. So you got the power supplies. Once you power everything up, then you got the audio side of things. Then from there, if you want the optional additional layer of MIDI, you know, you get you something like a MIDI Captain and a CME H2 H4 MIDI Pro, and you rock out. You know what I'm saying? Then you just daisy chain them. It doesn't matter the order they're in because it only matters what MIDI channel they're on. So this is MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, MIDI channel 3, and MIDI channel 5 for the Mercury X. Now the HX1 was on MIDI channel 3, but the Mercury X took that out too. So literally the Mercury X, between the Mercury X and the Enzo X, that's 12 pedals. With the ToneX, they took out all my preamps, so like 5, 6 preamps, like 3 or 4 actual amp heads. So you're looking at about 9 pedals there. So all together, just with these combinations of pedals, the Enzo X and the Mercury X and the ToneX Ones, that joint done took out like 9. Sheesh, it done took out like 21 pedals. Like, it done took them out. Like, you know, they up for sale. You know, if you want any of my pedals, you can find me on reverb.com. I only selling them locally. I'm not shipping, but, you know, it done took out, look, MXR layers. Got that out of there. MXR bass envelope filter. The plethora, TC Electronic Plethora X1, that's out of there. Zoom MS-60B Plus. Not that these are bad pedals. Don't get me wrong. It's just once you get these 3 pedals, that combination of pedals, these ones aren't even necessary. So, which will, if you want to save some money, you could just go ahead and grab them. Took out the bass bars. Electro-harmonics blurs. All my LFO filters and all that stuff, modulations, distortions, ring mod, bit crusher, all that stuff's coming from these 2 pedals, delays and reverbs. MXR Poly Blue, which does have the best paint job I've ever seen on any pedal. I love this sparkle blue paint. I want a car this color. I almost want to save it just to have them look at this color and make it for me. This been gone, but this is an eye stomp. It's old school. It wasn't on the pedal board for a long time anyway. You got the Eden WTDI, TC Electronic Spectracomp. You know, we ain't even counting these as pedals, but the what's that? The Canvas Power 15 took out 2 True Tone CS12s all in one shot, as well as the Moore Micro Power and the MXR ISO Brick. So, and it also, the pedals that you don't see right here, that it took out, you know, Source Audio, C4 synth, the Atlas compressor. Atlas compressor is actually amazing. It's just the compressor and the preamps I can create on the Mercury X are just more beneficial, and they sound just as good, if not better, to be honest. Like, you get plenty of creamy saturation and warmth, and the compressor is actually one of my favorite compressors. The compressor link is amazing. Compressors each side separately, but all of a sudden you can hear all these details in your sound that you could never hear from any other compressor I've used. The color box, the Spectrum, you know, Source Audio Spectrum, Zoom MS-70 Plus, HX1, Line 6 HX1. These just, you know, the Magellan, you know, the ToneX One took out like the Magellan, the Aguilar AG preamp, all these different preamps and stuff is all in my ToneX One pedals. And like even right now, it's a color box and a SGT DI pedal together, like a color box V2 running into a Ampeg SGT as the preset that's up right now, which is incredible. Because look at the space these take up, and look at the space SGT and a color box would take up, and I'm getting the same exact tone. So, you know, no need to have a separate tuner or anything like that on the pedal board, because the Future Impact has a tuner. The Enzo X and the Mercury X and the ToneX Ones also have tuners, so I don't need a separate tuner or anything like that. Got one of the best loopers, like highest quality sound. You guys got to listen to the looper a little bit during the break, and you know you're going from there. Electro harmonics, you know that are ever created right here. So these won't be going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, I can't say enough about all of these pedals that are on the pedal board. All of these are amazing companies, amazing quality. Not just the build quality, the sound quality is top notch. The tracking on all of this stuff is top notch. You know, so I can't recommend. If you see it on this board, just get it. Okay? If you see it on here, just get it. You know what I'm saying? And you won't regret it. Even the stuff that I'm selling off, you know, I've reviewed all this stuff and, you know, recommended all this stuff too. You know, if you don't want to get up to an Enzo X, but you still want to have a great freeze, or like you know, Mercury X, you still want a great reverb, the line HX1, you still want a great freeze, the deep freeze or the MXR layers still are amazing pedals. You know, if you want a good octaves, you don't have to have a Hog 2, you know what I'm saying? You can get MXR Poly Blue or Boss OC5. I sold the Boss OC5 the other day. And, you know, these filters are still amazing. The Blurst is a very unique sounding filter, very warm. And the Baseballs, of course, that's a legendary filter. But, you know, it's not that any of these pedals are bad. It's not that. It's just I like the sound quality of these Meris pedals and the ToneX One so much that it beat out all these other pedals, you know what I'm saying, that I was using for those purposes. So, and that's with each individual effects in there. So definitely, you get a chance, if you want ToneX One, check it out in the description. You know, it helps out the channel a lot. The Meris pedals, if you buy one, you know, leave a note, tell them the Bass Negus sent you. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to follow me on any social media, is at the Bass Negus. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to find me on Instagram, Facebook, any of that stuff. If you want to check out any of my actual music that I have released, you know, I'm going to be releasing some more music soon, because this pedal board is ever inspiring. So, you know, check that out on all basscreations.bandcamp. And if you would like to send a gift, super chat, cash up, all that's welcome. I definitely appreciate it all. If you, what else we got? I think that's about, oh, of course, shout out to the Patreon homies. Everybody that help me out on Patreon and support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. You know, you can find presets if you've bought presets, or if you have, you know, done a subscription and supported the channel, helping me continue to bring you new pedal reviews and things like that. I definitely appreciate that. And because it allows me to give you guys honest reviews, and it doesn't allow me to be, you know, ain't no company going to be able to say, you know, rada, because I'm supported by my fans, not necessarily them. So I definitely appreciate y'all for that. And if you want any preset packs, we got preset packs for the Future Impact V4 VIP, the Enzo X, the C4 synth, the Zoom MS-60B, the Zoom MS-70 CDR Plus, the Zoom B6. What else we got? 11 different preamp packs for the ToneX One and ToneX pedals. But yeah, check all that stuff out over on the Patreon, and I'll catch you guys later. This has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus, and I will catch you next time.